Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Indy here with Ultimate Tool Reviews. And if you guys have, ever looked at Makita tools elsewhere in the world, they oftentimes seem a bit cheaper. Now, it's pretty well known that in the US, this, of course, is not Makita's largest market by far, and that can be attributed to a couple of things, but I think one thing, honestly, is Makita just isn't necessarily trying hard enough in the US market, and prices of Makita tools are oftentimes on the higher side. Now, one thing I've shown in the past is that a lot of tools you can buy cheaper from Japan. You can import them quite a bit cheaper than you can get them here in the US. Check this out. One of the tools that I think is one of the most guilty tools of being just way overpriced here in the US is their new cordless blowers. This is the cordless, they call it the cordless blower slash inflator. It's kind of like a mini blower kind of tool. It's a low volume but high pressure blower. They run for about $200 here in the US, $194, and of course they're not selling too well because of course they're $200 for a tiny little blower. It's got one review on Home Depot's website, so I'm assuming they've probably sold a couple hundred of these at most, with having only one review. Now, if you want to buy this from Japan, let's say you live in Japan, that tool is going to run you about $120, or a pretty good savings there. That's a significant price difference for a tool that is not even made in Japan, that's actually just made in China. And I mean, that is a huge price difference comparing the two, different areas you buy those tools. It's not like it's like a $20 difference or a $30 or $40 difference, but it is an entire $80 difference there, which is just crazy. But that's not even the craziest difference that I've found. I've showed this one off in a couple of other videos too. The new Makita XGT impact wrenches, whether it's the mid torque, the high torque, whichever one you want to take a look at, they are wildly expensive. This thing is pretty much $400 here in the States, which is just crazy. That's tool only too. That's no charger, no battery. That is crazy expensive. Now you pop on over to Amazon Japan, you're going to pay about half that at $207. Again, this tool is made in China. It's not a made in Japan tool. But why the $200 price increase? That is pretty crazy. Well, Tool Scientist, he's got a YouTube channel. I'll credit him in the description if you want to check him out. He ended up posting a really cool little spreadsheet here talking about the different tool pricing in the world for Makita relative to Japan. I've got another one for you too. But check this out. This is going to be pricing relative to New Zealand, UK. We've got US, Canada here. And this is going to be all relative to Japan's pricing here. So as you can see here, red is bad. That means it's going to be way more expensive. And then green is good. It's going to be way cheaper. So notice how much red we see in that US column. Look at some of these options here. Way more expensive here. There's only a couple of tools here. And I asked him permission to use these. He did mention, though, that a couple of the kit pricing is actually going to be a bit cheaper. He made a couple mistakes on this, but the kit pricing is usually where you're going to find the best deal here in the States, whereas the bare tool and battery-only deals are going to be the worst deals, which, of course, is still very accurately reflected by this graph here. Now, notice here in like New Zealand and the UK, see how we've got such a massive difference there? A lot of stuff is significantly cheaper. We're talking, at times 63% cheaper, 50% cheaper there. There's going to be a lot of differences comparing that to Japan. You compare some of that to the US, I mean, it's a massive difference here. Also got one more graph for you too. Check this out, relative to Australia's pricing, of course, without tax in the US dollar here. Again, the US, we are paying way more for a lot of this stuff here. Look at the Australia pricing, and that's been translated to US dollar here. So could you imagine paying, $113 retail for like the 40-volt charger, or even for a 6 amp hour battery? You pay almost $400 here for a 2-pack of those 4 amp hour batteries. But in Australia, it's going to be right around $240. It's pretty wild difference there. Doing some research on the exact why we're seeing those price differences, it looks rather bad when you compare it to Japan, because right now the Japanese yen is not doing too well in the overall global market. So when you look at pricing in Japan, it seems way cheaper. That's because the Japanese yen is not doing so well. Again, though, what that means for us, though, is if you buy from Amazon Japan, you are getting a really good deal over there. Also, I've heard a lot of deals you can get from Amazon UK. I did check that out this morning. I couldn't really find any amazing deals myself that I would buy, like I just showed you on Amazon Japan. But if you find any of them, I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comments. I know one of the subscribers, Reba, he's always posting lots of cool deals and stuff. I'm sure he'll post a comment about some awesome UK deals that he's probably found before. But it's really interesting to see how different the pricing is with Makita stuff from country to country here. And also another theory I would say too, if you look at the UK market, is probably one of Makita's largest markets, if not the largest market. It's going to be Europe. They do have a lot of manufacturing in Europe, so it is not shipping very far. The whole European market is very heavy into Makita, whereas Milwaukee, DeWalt here are the biggest brands in the States. Over in Europe, it's kind of Makita has been kind of on top there. We also have Hikoki there, is much larger than they are here in the States. It's really just an entirely different market. But guys, my takeaway from this and what I'm trying to say here is if you're looking for Makita deals, check out Amazon UK, check out Amazon Japan. There's a lot of better deals on there than you can find here in the States, especially for some of the more unique tools, especially for the XGT tools, which are seeing huge markups here coming to the States. So guys, thanks for watching. Take care, have a great day, and stay safe out there.